was 14 years old on the Halloween night that changed the way I look at being home alone forever. My mom had taken my 8-year-old sister trick-or-treating, and she told me to stay home and hand out candy. I actually felt kind of important, like I finally had a job to do on Halloween, instead of walking around alone like some awkward kid. The house was warm and quiet. I was lying on the couch watching the annual Halloween movie marathon, getting up every now and then to answer the door for groups of dressed-up kids. Everything felt normal, until the kitchen phone rang. It rang so loud that I literally jumped. I got up, walked over, and picked it up. There was no voice, no words, just this faint, slow breathing on the other end, like someone holding the phone close to their face, listening, but not speaking. I kept saying hello, but nobody answered, and then they hung up. I told myself it was just some prank kid messing around on Halloween. So I went back to the couch, trying to ignore the weird feeling crawling into my stomach. 10 minutes later, the phone rang again. Same unknown number, same heavy breathing. Only this time it felt slower, closer, like whoever it was had their mouth right against the phone. I tried to laugh it off. "Okay, Steve, I know it's you," I said, assuming it was my friend trying to scare me. They hung up again. I wasn't scared yet, but something felt off. The house felt a little darker than before, a little too quiet. The doorbell wasn't ringing anymore. The neighborhood outside had gone still. Almost half an hour passed. Then, just as a kill scene played on the TV, the phone rang a third time. I didn't want to answer it, but something inside me made me pick it up. And for almost 30 seconds, the caller didn't say a single word, just breathing. And then, in this forced, deep voice that didn't sound human at all, they finally spoke. "I'll be paying you a visit tonight." I froze. The voice sounded nothing like Steve or any kid I knew. It sounded older, rough, intentional, like someone trying to make their voice unrecognizable. I slammed the phone down and locked both the front and back doors. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. For a few minutes, the house stayed silent. I started convincing myself it was still just a stupid prank. And then every light in the house went out. The TV turned off. The lamps died. The hallway went pitch black. Everything was silent for half a second. And then someone started pounding on the front door. Hard. I screamed before I even realized it. The pounding kept getting louder, angrier, like whoever it was wanted to break the door down. Then, laughter. Not funny laughter. Not kids laughing. It sounded like an adult trying to mock me. I rushed to the front door and looked through the window, but no one was there. The knocking had stopped. The porch was empty. Suddenly, there were footsteps behind me. I spun around, and it was Steve, my friend. He was laughing his head off. He said he was just messing with me and thought it'd be funny to scare me on Halloween. I shoved him out of pure anger and shouted at him. But then I asked him, "Do that voice again? The creepy one you used on the phone." His smile faded. "What voice? I never said anything. I just breathed into the phone." It hit me like ice water. If Steve didn't use that voice, then who the hell said, "I'll be paying you a visit tonight"? We walked outside with a flashlight and went around to the fuse box. The metal door was hanging open and all the wires inside had been cut. Not pulled, cut. Someone had shut off the power on purpose. We ran back inside, locked every door, and I called my mom, shaking so badly I could barely speak. She told me to stay put and called the police immediately. When the police traced the last call, it didn't come from Steve's house. It came from a payphone outside a bar on the other side of town. To this day, I don't know if it was just some sick prank by a stranger or someone who knew I was home alone. All I know is that the calls stopped after that night. But every Halloween since then, at exactly 11 p.m., I still find myself staring at the front door, waiting to hear that voice again.